Okay, we decided that this selected property approach wasn't working, so let's get rid of it. Move to TaskQueue item.cpp and go to the value tree property changed. Go to that guy. Let's comment out. Yeah, we'll get rid of this identifier stuff right here. Leave the debug message. Just get rid of that guy. But comment out the debug message because we might need that later. All right, let's go to our tqic.cpp and remove the line from paint that uses it. That's this line right here. And remove the mouse down chunk that flipped it. Just get rid of that. And then move back to TaskQueue item.cpp. Sorry, move to TaskQueue container.cpp and remove the property that gets set in the constructor. This line right here. Just comment that guy out. All right, move back over to TaskQueue item component.h. Now there is a tree view item function called isSelected, which we can use instead of reading that tree property selected. So that means we need a reference to the TaskQueue item that created us, and that's tight coupling, but it's okay for right now. So let's forward declare the TaskQueue class so we can use it in our TaskQueue item component. So at the top of our header class, right up here, we'll forward declare it. And we'll give ourselves a reference member. And let's update our constructor to take an instance. All right, and now we can focus on our implementation. So we'll go over to the main constructor here and get our argument involved. This guy, just copy her right on in, and then initialize the member. And now we can, in our paint function, now we can access it. This is where we can check if we're selected by checking if the TaskQueue item that spawned us is selected. We can do g.fill all owner.isSelected. Oop, not is enabled. Is. Oh, this isn't going to work until I actually include TaskQueue item. Include TaskQueue item.h. Now we can do owner.isSelected. Ternary expression. If it's selected, then we can do our colors red or colors black. Okay, cool. So now that means that our mouse down can toggle that selected state on the owner. So that's very easy to do. Just do owner.setSelected. And we'll do the opposite. We'll just flip it. Owner.isSelected. And yes, deselect all of the other nodes. All right, now we will get a build error if we try to compile it right now. And that's because we need to pass an instance of a TaskQueue item when we construct this. So let's just fix that right now. Pass our reference in. And now let's see what happens. Whoops, it's a little spelling error for me. Yes. Okay, one more time. All right, Adam. We can toggle their state, and they toggle off when we click away from them. Awesome. We still can't drag and drop. That's fine. We'll work on that. They're not selected by default when they are created, and we still can't drag and drop. So two things we need to work on to get this guy locked in. So let's do the auto select next. So let's make the tasks auto select when they are created with the correct approach this time. Emphasis on correct. So move to TaskQueue item.cpp. And we need to simply deselect whenever a child is added. So we can get rid of this chunk of stuff right here. We can get rid of this property related stuff. Get rid of that. And now just do set selected false and deselect other items true. Now let's go back to our container CPP file. And let's add some pointer safety right here. And we're kind of being reckless. Maybe our root node, for whatever reason, doesn't end up working correctly. So let's add some safety to that. If root item, we'll add the task first, and now we can get the most recently created item and mark it as selected. So we'll do that by going root item, get sub item, and the index we want is the last sub item that was added. Root item, get num sub items -1. And then now we can set selected. Should be selected is true, and deselect others first. Everything is already deselected, so we can do false for this guy. Okay, let's try that out and see what happens. Add some of these guys. Okay, they're selected by default, and we click and they deselect automatically. All right, perfect. That works as expected. Let's get drag and drop working next.